Hey, I wanted to share a couple of things that happened last week that I was able to observe. And I want to prepare you guys for this upcoming week about the SBSS score for the business FICO score. But last week I had a couple challenges just in dealing with a friend in business, but then also my wife who owns her own business. And I'm the gatekeeper since to the private broker that we utilize to get access to funding for anybody. And one of the challenges that I found is like when you're dealing with friends or you're dealing with your wife and they tell you what they need or they want, I'm trying to do my best to help execute that in a seamless process, but also make sure that the communication is key. And again, I'm an expert in business funding and credit, but I'm not an expert in how the actual products work directly with the bank because the banks are the experts. And that's the great part about working with our team is that you get to talk to me first so that I can identify what you're going to qualify for so that you don't get denied. And then when you talk to the funding team, they're going to identify the deeper goals. But I think some of the challenges that I see is not everybody is vulnerable enough to open up and share some of the challenges about their business. A couple examples would be, we have a company that does 8+ million a year. Excellent credit, but they had some partnerships that didn't go well. And so there was tax issues or this or that. And the great thing is that we were able to help them overcome them, find a short-term solution. Example was we got someone $175,000, paid off a loan that was charging them 25 grand a month and saved them $20,000 a month. But that allowed us then to put them in position to get another loan for $150,000, then continue to get to the ultimate goal, which would be a huge line of credit for them. But then also we have another friend that, we look at helping get shorter term loans, and then the banks change. They change the boundaries, they change the guidelines, increase the credit scores. And so the certain expectations in the beginning changed. And so then it's like trying to figure out how do you communicate and help them navigate through this process. And if I would have taken myself out of that space and allowed them talk directly to the funding team, there wouldn't have been a gap. And so what I'm learning to do is really start looking at myself through other people's lens and also the lens of my partners so that we can really just make this process seamless. But also too with my wife, my wife trusts me deeply, but she's the one that actually is doing the loan, not me. And so when she's saying, hey, let's go, let's do this, and I tell my team to do something, again, there was a gap in communication to the borrower or let's say the business owner. And so what I'm learning here to do, and I think is really important for us to do just in life, not only with your family, with God, with your friends, is to take a moment and look at how they see you through their lens and be a better observer and just listen so that you can help people get over certain fears or anxieties. It doesn't really need to be there, but we create and cause sometimes because sometimes we just look through our own lens. But this coming week, I'm really excited about sharing the SBSS FICO scores with you because it's something that business owners don't ever hear. Nobody ever wants to talk about. And so I'm super excited just to help continue to educate and bring more business owners opportunities that they knew they never had. Thank you.